Welcome everyone, this is Tactical Lich here. Today we have a battle replay sent in by Logic, a great YouTube content creator of Total Warhammer content and also used to do a lot of great battle replays, but recently he has shifted over to focus more on streaming, and so instead he has sent us this replay for me to cast. Now, for the army builds here, Logic here leading the army with Belak Core, providing a lot of Shadow Magic, Pit of Shades, Malkov's Mystifying Miasma, and also the Shadow Shroud for the damage resistance, a really powerful melee combatant, and also Spellcaster. In the front, a lot of Skirmishing firepower. Horsemasters, Horsemen mixed in together, 6 Skirmishing Cavalry in total in the front line, just gonna shower their opponent with a lot of javelins. At the back, we have a bit of infantry anvil with Chaos Warriors flanking those Chaos Marauders in the middle. And now on the flanks, we have a lot of Hellstriders of Slaanesh, 4 of them, in fact 2 on each flank. Basically using the swift and agile Slaanesh cavalry with dedicated anti-large capacity to screen out enemy mobility, protecting the Marauder skirmishers and allow them to fire safely. A combo that is slightly demanding on micro yet still extremely popular. Now for Logic's opponent Everchicken here, just like their namesake, they're going for that Tzeentch army, a lot of Chaos Warriors with halberds in the front line. Other than their dedicated anti-large duties, they might also need to deal with Chaos Warriors since the Tzeentch roster do lack anti-armored infantry options. Now at the back, there's a bunch of Marauders of Tzeentch with spears, flanking a bunch of pink horrors who will be providing some decent firepower support, and also a single Marauders of Tzeentch in the middle. At the back, there is a single unit of Chaos Knights of Tzeentch, and also more halberds providing that backline protection in case there are anything that wants to charge down the pink horrors. In the skies, a bunch of Screamers, providing that armor-piercing anti-large mobility. Their speed isn't quite enough to catch up with Skirmishing Cavalry, but they will still do some nice damage if they can use the shield to absorb those missile fire. As for the Tzeentch leadership, unfortunately we don't see the Everchicken here, and instead there's only a single Chaos Sorcerer Lord of Tzeentch, providing some Tzeentch magic support in the form of Blue Fire, very nice, cost-effective, single entity sniping spell, and also Infernal Gateway for that blob clearing. Sword of Change, providing some Chaos Spawn summons, and that's basically it for army builds on both sides. Now let's go into the battle itself. With this Skirmishing Cavalry advantage, Logic is pushing up all these Marauder horses, hoping to rain down shots with javelins onto these Chaos Warriors and Marauders before they can even reach this Warriors of Chaos front line. Yes, they don't have the greatest AP, but still, 7 on the regular horsemen and 8 on horsemasters is actually pretty decent. When you look at the Chaos Warriors of Tzeentch, you can see that their shields are already knocked off in a single volley from all these Marauder horses and start taking some noticeable damage. They don't have shields or resistances to mitigate incoming missile damage, so all they can rely on is their heavy armor. But not even 100 armor is enough to save them from these javelin volleys. And on top of that, Pink Horrors of Tzeentch doesn't exactly have the range to counter-shoot effectively into the Horsemen and Horsemasters. They have slightly more range than the Horsemasters, but they can simply move out of the way, retreat back, missing those shots from the Pink Horrors, and pull back again and start firing their javelins once more. You can see that a really nice micro from Logic here, minimizing the damage from the Pink Horrors, as a lot of those shots were landing short of the Marauder Horsemen and Horsemasters. Now, if Everchicken, the Tzeentch player, actually brought their own Tzeentch Skirmishing Cav, they would actually be able to effectively counter-skirmish, with their own Marauder horses having that Shield of Tzeentch mitigating incoming missile damage and returning fire. The undivided Marauder horses, due to their lack of Chaos God buffs, will have a harder time trading against them. But alas, this is not exactly the case here, as the Everchicken here relying on those Pink Horrors to counterfire, chipping away some health on the Marauder horsemen, but not quite enough to fend them off. As you can see here, a lot of these Chaos Warriors of Tzeentch are already down to half health, and this one's also at 1/3 of their HP. On the side, the Marauders with spears, due to them walking into range of the Marauder horses, they are also taking some chip damage. Their shields are being consumed by the javelin fire. Losing this layer of protection puts them on a slight back foot in the melee engagement. as they clashes against some very healthy undivided marauders and warriors. At the back, the pink horrors are still opening fire into the marauder cavalry. However, Be'lakor, noticing them, will be dropping a massive pit of shades, knocking them over, silencing them, and also doing massive damage, ignoring their physical resistance. At the same time, the Tzeentch infantry are struggling due to all the damage they took earlier from the javelins. While Be'lakor at the back here, a target of all these Tzeentch focus fire, the pink horrors, the blue fire of Chaos Saucer, they're all just aiming at Be'lakor, hoping to chip down the health of this powerful demon prince. At the back, there's also a single Infernal Gateway, if I remember correctly, that's the spell name, doing massive damage to the marauder horses, but they actually have the mass to pull out of this vortex spell, and now they will just be moving into a different position and start firing once again. While over here, 3 marauder horses are just shifting over to the rear of the poor Tzeentch frontline. As you can see here, the Spear's Marauders do not have the heavy armor of the shinier and heavier Chaos Warriors, and so they will be taking significantly more damage from the javelins. In order to deal with the horses, the pink horrors will be moving back, hoping to screen out those Marauder cavalry with their firepower, but on the other side, there's a lot of mobility engaging, and this is where the Marauder horses are coming to support this fight. Hell's Riders of Tzeentch engaging against the Chaos Knights. They do not have the greatest armor piercing, but fret not, they are not here to do the damage. Instead, the javelins are doing some really noticeable damage to the Chaos Knights, while the Screamers themselves are taking massive damage from both the javelins and the anti-large Hell's Riders. And now, with the Chaos Knights of Tzeentch moving back, there are some Marauder Horsemen and Horsemasters charging into combat, pinning down all these pink horrors with melee attacks, silencing them, and this is why Missile Cavalry can be so dangerous. Not only can they skirmish against enemies that are too strong for them to fight, once they find a weak spot in your formations, they can charge in, do some damage, or at least silence your missile units by dragging them into a melee fight, killing unit models, and also shutting down your damage sources. Screamers at the back, desperately trying to chase down all these Marauder Horsemasters and Horsemen, but they don't quite have the speed, only at 85 compared to 90 on these Horsemasters. They are actually getting shot up quite badly by all those javelin skirmishing fire as they chase after the Marauder Cavalry. Now in the front line, the Tzeentch front line has collapsed. Only one single Chaos Warriors of Tzeentch are still holding, but the rest of them, due to taking significant damage from all those javelin shots, they are actually routed by mere Chaos Warriors and regular Marauders. And well, things are not looking quite well for the Tzeentch army with balance of power against them. At the back there, the Chaos Sorcerer Lord of Tzeentch is being chased off by Be'lakor, and all these Marauder Cavalry and the Hellstriders are also just cleaning up all these routing Tzeentch units and silencing pink horrors and whatnot. Over here, there are some regrouped Hellstriders being broken apart by the Chaos Knights earlier, but right now the Chaos Knights themselves are in massive trouble. Yes, they are fighting Horsemasters and are doing pretty decent damage overall, but there are more Hellstriders coming in to pin them down, and at the same time there's this one extremely healthy Hellstriders of Tzeentch just not engaging at all. However, they will be caught by the Chaos Warriors with halberds over here and will be cut down, taking significant damage. At the back, Marauder Horsemasters are almost out of ammo. Same goes for these Marauder Horsemen over here, so they'll be moving into melee combat as well. Actually, these guys are already out of ammo. And also, Chaos Warriors are just cleaning away all these Tzeentch routing units. Things are looking really bleak for Tzeentch as the Chaos Sorcerer Lord now slightly regrouped, but still chased after by Be'lakor. The disc does have 105 speed, which is slightly faster than Be'lakor, so he could have tried running away, but being caught up by Be'lakor once again, attempting to cast a blue fire. But unfortunately, that's not gonna do anything, and that spells the end of the Sorcerer Lord as well as his army. Massive thanks to Logic for sending in this replay, and players, if you are interested in checking out more tournament content and also Total Warhammer gaming streams, feel free to check out Logic's channel. I'll be putting the channel link down in the description below. Now let's have a look at the army performances. Both players did a great job here. However, unfortunately, the Tzeentch side, Everchicken could have did a little bit adjustment with their army build, especially with the skirmishing firepower department there, if they actually had those Marauder horsemen of Tzeentch here, they would have options to counteract the undivided Marauder horses, especially the horsemasters. Combined, they have over 3,000 gold worth of damage value, which is above their cost, considering that most of them used up their ammo, and also they've been shooting at heavy armored targets the whole time, a bunch of ammo being absorbed by the Tzeentch shields as well. This is actually pretty decent stuff. The horsemen as well did an okay job preserving most of their unit models, and on top of just shooting, they've been charging down enemy units, tying down pink horrors, running down those routing Tzeentch units, and sometimes even recharging enemy units to break their leadership. Not only are they a source of survivable firepower, but they can also conduct some lethal strikes into the weak spots of an army. A truly versatile unit, especially Marauder horsemasters and horsemen, who have relatively decent melee stats compared to other skirmishing cavalry. Now, as for the other units, you can see that the Hellstriders not having a lot of good targets to engage. Even the best targets they can fight are not exactly great for them to fight. As for the performance of other units, Hellstriders didn't quite earn back their own value, but that doesn't really matter, as their job was basically to tie down the Chaos Knight, who did some okay damage but not quite enough to earn back their own value. Marauders, they didn't quite do much here, fighting against heavily armored Chaos Warriors with halberds. With their heavy armor and decent melee defense stats, the Chaos Marauders can't quite punch through their defenses and do the damage, while Chaos Warriors did okay overall. While the Chaos Warriors didn't do much damage either, as they also suffer from the same problem, not a lot of armor piercing and not a lot of melee attack. So in the end, Be'lakor did some heavy carrying, dropping down those Pit of Shades, Melkoth's Mystifying Miasma, draining the health of the Chaos Knight, and also destroying some pink horrors on the side as well. In the skies, he was hunting down this poor Chaos Sorcerer Lord, who is definitely no match for the very first Demon Prince of Chaos. Now that we're done with Logic's army, let's have a look at Everchicken's army, with the infantry doing pretty much nothing here. The Tzeentch halberds would have been a great force of melee power, but unfortunately, most of them were severely weakened by the javelin fire before they can even get into melee. Pink Horrors being tied down by the skirmishing cavalry, and also doesn't really have that range to shoot down those Marauder horsemaster and horsemen before they can pull away. And in the end, they were just basically tangled into melee combat. Even if they managed to shoot at the Marauders or Chaos Warriors, they don't have that DPS to accumulate a lot of value. Now, Chaos Knight did a little bit better here, fighting a bunch of Hellstriders, but still, not exactly the greatest trait for them, as they were exposed to the javelin fire. Screamers, not a lot of value either. They don't have the speed to catch up with the skirmishing cavalry, unfortunately. Now, this Chaos Warriors of Tzeentch actually conserved the entire unit's models, but still, not doing enough damage to carry the game. Chaos Sorcerer Lord did some okay damage with the blue fire, but that's basically it. Anyways, that's it for today's battle. I hope viewers you enjoy it, and if you do and want to see more, remember to hit the like and subscribe down below to receive updates when I upload new videos. And if you have your own replays that you want to showcase, feel free to drop by my Discord or send me an email with the replay file attached. I'll be sure to check them out. And yeah, that's it for today. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Tzeentch, signing out.